Hello, I'm calling from the Trib. I'd like to confirm a quote.
Getting you around for 2 hours, and we don't come on deadline.
How much money was involved? Was it over $1,000? Was it over $10,000?
Spelling on your name?
Parrot like the bird, but with 2 T's. Walter.
With 1 T. And how long have you been at this location, Mr. Parrott?
9 years.
Uh-huh. Can you tell me what was taken?
Well, these guys or gals, I knew what they were after because they passed up this good stuff right here and went straight for the automatic weapons.
Isn't it illegal to sell automatic weapons?
Oh, I wasn't selling them. No, I don't keep them out front. You see, this is part of my private collection. You're allowed to collect them. Cops knew all about it. You can ask them.
What would you say was the value of the weapons taken?
Priceless to me.
Well, what about to me?
Well, each piece was worth between $800 and $1,000, and they took 11 weapons.
Uh-huh. Have you been burglarized before?
Yeah, about a year ago. But not since I put in the new security system.
All right. Well, okay, thank you. Animal?
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, aren't you going to ask me what I think about gun control or anything?
Well, no, I wasn't planning to.
Well, when people read that, they're going to think I'm some kind of a gun nut.
Oh, I don't think so.
Well, that isn't fair. You haven't let me tell my side of it.
Oh, okay. What do you think about gun control?
Well, like any sane person, I'm against it.
I'll have 10 books on the gun store break-in after lunch.
Who do the cops think did it?
Probably some right-wing paranoid types, or some Middle Eastern nationalist zealots, or some neo-Nazis, or some Marxist extremists. Or a bank-robbing ring looking for heavy hardware, or some dealers in black market weapons, or another gun collector. Or some nut.
Yeah, that's who I'd say.
Well, boys, what'll it be? Another round? Or are you just planning to take up space in my bar?
Hi, Maggie.
Hi.
Hello, Mrs. McKenna.
Oh, Lord. It's Maggie, please. Or the next thing I know, you'll be calling me the Widow McKenna. And after that, the old Widow McKenna. And after that, I don't even want to be thinking about it.
Hi, Maggie.
How about a stout on the house, fellas? What do you say, Joe? Sure. Charlie?
Relax.
Lou?
Scotch.
There's one in every crowd.
I haven't seen you much down here lately.
I just flew in.
From Dublin?
No, from Palm Springs. I fly in for special occasion.
What's the occasion?
It's St. Paddy's Day, Lou. Or hadn't you noticed poor Julio back here? Breaking his back to turn this place into county court by 6 o'clock?
You having a party?
Mm-hmm. And you're all invited. There's a small $5 donation to get in.
Donation?
To the aid fund. In fact, you all might put the price of your lunch in here and give a meal to a hungry child.
A child in Ireland.
Mm-hmm. The families of the men who are in the prisons up north. So, will I be seeing you boys here tonight? We'll be having music, dancing, maybe. No scotch, but good Irish whiskey.
I'm free after deadline.
Good. It's settled then. I'll see you later.
You're gonna give a kid a lunch?
As long as it's not like the one I just had.
Okay, that's good. We'll check it. That was Driscoll. He just got back to the cop house.
You mean he was actually out on a story?
Not exactly. He was delivering donuts to a couple of his cop pals. One of them told him about investigating a barking dog complaint this morning in Tahunga.
Hot stuff. Maybe Driscoll should spring for crumb cake.
As the officer was trying to locate the barking dog, he found a garage that had a lot more in it than just a car and garden tools. 30 pistols, hand grenades, rifles, some automatic weapons. They're still counting it all.
Bossy.
Might be worth a picture.
You bet.
What's up?
The cops found a cache of arms at Tahunga this morning.
This address.
What time this morning?
They're still taking inventory. The story's warm. Round up Animal and go with him.
Okay. Geez, hand grenades in Tahunga.
Maybe Tahunga's planning on attacking Burbank.
Maybe they want to secede from the Union.
Maybe you should go ask him.
Right.
You guys going to McKenna's later?
I was going to go home and wash my hair this evening, but I could be talked out of it.
Why don't we check out the party?
I guess you can go another day.
Lou Grant will continue in a moment here on A&E.
Hey, it's McPhee. Hi. Do you have any theories on what the arms are going to be used for?
Other than for some people to shoot some other people, no.
Have you arrested the owners of the house?
One owner,
Yeah?
Nana Papa Giorgio. About 80 years old. Most illegal thing she's ever done is have a dog that barks.
You sure?
Officially, I'm not, and we'll investigate her like crazy and probably spend 2 months on it. But she was as surprised as we were to find that cache of arms in her garage. She rented it out to a nice-looking young man,
Name?
Bob.
Bob. Very good.
Bob always paid in cash. Left it in a white envelope in her mailbox. She only saw him once. She never did see him come or go.
Did you check him out at first? Did he give any references?
He was polite to her.
I heard there were some automatic weapons in here.
That's right.
There were 11 automatic rifles taken from a gun shop in Glendale last night. Any connection?
Yeah, you were looking at 6 of them,
6 from Glendale?
right?
So it ties up.
To what?
I don't know.
Yeah, well, when you know, you tell me.
Pictures are okay.
Be my guest. You seen one of these?
No, what is it?
English.
Meaning?
Meaning anything. When you're dealing on the international arms market, it's totally open. We've seen Russian arms, Chinese arms, French. This one little weapon here can fire 2,000 rounds a minute.
There's a good party.
Rue McClanahan.
Will Grant, this is Art Donovan.
Donovan, you from Boston?
No.
Are you in the exercise equipment business?
No, newspapers.
Oh, then I don't know you. I'm getting a little mist in the eyes.
Yeah, it's kind of smoky in here.
You from Ireland?
My granddaddy was. You know, there are more Irish outside of Ireland than inside. You know that, don't you? How would I ought to be doing? What we ought to be doing, Art Donovan. Just go back there and give them a little help with their struggles.
Which struggles?
They kick the Brits out of the North to unite the country.
I think it's a little more complicated than that.
Complicated? What's complicated about torture? What's complicated about the English offing Catholic babies to keep the population in their favor?
There have been reports of abuses by the British troops, but I haven't heard anything about killing babies.
We've got to fight them. Because force is the only thing some people know. It was good talking to you. Oh, you're a darling person, Maggie. Darling.
You too, Theo. Don't listen to that Theo Monahan. He's a bag of wind.
Maggie, nice party.
Yeah, the best you've been to in some time.
Oh.
Boys, let me introduce you here to the real thing. This is Francie Fitzgerald, a colleague of yours. It's Lou Grant and Art Donovan.
How are you? Nice to meet you. What paper are you with?
Well, at the moment, I'm freelancing. I'm over here taking a look at your electoral system to make sense of it for the folks back home.
Does it make sense to them?
Only when an Irishman wins. And then they have no trouble figuring it out at all.
There's a booth opening up a skip. After you, Ed.
You're out of Dublin?
That's right.
Then you must know Seamus Quinn of the Irish Times.
Sure. We're a small community of journalists in a tiny country.
How's he doing?
Fair enough the last time I saw him.
Lou, I brought Francie over to embarrass you.
Maggie, what are you plotting now?
Just tell me this, Lou. Seeing as how you're such a big man and all over the Tribune, how come you can't give more attention to the cause of United Ireland?
It's not my job to write the editorials. I only cover the news.
Of course, of course. Maggie doesn't understand that a journalist has to call it the way he sees it. I'm sure you're doing a fine job.
Lou and I just cover the local news anyway, so unless you're talking about uniting Ireland with Santa Monica, it's really not in our area.
That's right.
Well, it's certainly no fun sitting around here while you're all agreeing with each other. Hey, Mitch. You excuse me.
So, I wonder if you boys could direct me to a cheap hotel in this town.
You want cheap and good, good luck.
I want cheap and cheap.
Wait a minute. Seamus Quinn doesn't write for the Times. He works for the Herald.
It's the same fella. I recall now, before he worked for the Herald, he worked over at the Times. And before he worked for the Times, he worked over the Standard. And before that, he worked for his mother in her laundry. And before that, he was a drunken, stinking, lousy good-for-nothing, which is the way he's going to end up, too. But he's a lovely writer. A lovely writer.
Lou Grant will continue in a moment here on A&E.
Any friend of Maggie's is a friend of mine. Anyway, I couldn't let you go in that flea bag you picked out.
Well, thanks very much. This is very nice of you.
You're welcome. Why are you whispering?
So as not to wake up the missus and the kiddies.
The missus and I split a few years ago, and the kiddies have kiddies. What about you?
I'm married. A couple of children, a boy and a girl, aged 8 and 10.
Dublin?
Yes. Have you been over there?
I'd like to go.
Well, if you do now, you be sure and look us up. If there's that book you've been meaning to write, remember that artists don't pay any income tax over there.
Tell me, Francie, you see things getting any better over there?
Well, I see the economy getting better, what with the foreign investment lately. And I think a lot of people are getting better jobs.
More jobs?
Yeah, more jobs.
What about the violence?
Well, there's still a little injustice up there in the north, you know. Even with the improvement in the economy, there's not getting the jobs to the people who need them the most. So I'm afraid you're not looking at an early end to the troubles.
That's too bad.
That's a terrible shame.
You think it'll be warm enough?
Well, if I'm not, I'll just burn the coffee table there.
The bathrooms are there. Good night.
Good night. Thanks again.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
I'm with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. May we come in?
Come in.
We've been led to believe that a man named Francis Fitzgerald is staying with you.
That's right. He's here. He's sleeping right on the couch.
How about in the other rooms?
Well, he's not in the bedroom or the bathroom.
What?
Nothing back here.
How about the backyard?
Zip.
Am I in your way, or should I get out so you can make yourself some breakfast?
We're looking for Fitzgerald for questioning. You have no idea when he left.
No.
What's your connection with him?
I met him at a party last night. He didn't have a place to stay, so I told him he could bunk out here.
What did he say he was in Los Angeles for?
He's writing a story. He's a journalist.
Journalist?
From Dublin.
And he's used that cover before.
He was introduced to me as an Irish journalist.
Well, the Irish part is true.
Sir, it would help us if you would check your wallet.
My wallet.
Yes, sir.
This is all the money I had. All here.
Credit cards?
All here. Wait a minute.
What is it?
My driver's license is gone. So is my Social Security card. Why?
Fitzgerald, or somebody, can use that ID to get a birth certificate and a passport.
Why? Who is Fitzgerald?
We believe he's a member of the O'Neill wing of the IRA, that he's here buying guns and smuggling them to Ireland.
that? You didn't do so bad last night.
That's nice.
You might give me a little smile, Lou. Thought you could hold your whiskey better than that.
The journalist you introduced me to last night?
Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald.
Isn't he a lovely guy?
He's a lovely guy. He's also a gun runner. He stole my driver's license and my Social Security card.
Francie? Oh, that little devil.
A member of a militant wing.
Well, what if he is?
If he is, then he's a murdering thug.
Say you.
Did you happen to read about Lord Mountbatten being killed? Or the few dozen other bombings and shootings that have happened in the last couple of years? Did you happen to notice who took credit for those acts of heroism?
Did you happen to notice the cause they were fighting for?
Federal agents were in my house this morning.
We're not talking about the justice of their cause.
Maybe we should be. Maybe you should be, Art Donovan.
Don't try to snow me with Irish chauvinism.
Where did your grandfather come from?
County Donegal, but that is not the issue.
It's exactly the issue.
First of all, I was born in America.
And you don't care anymore about the old country?
I care. I think the whole world would like to see peace in Ireland and an end to the Troubles.
If you want an end to the Troubles, then kick the British out.
Hold it. You two can't get along here.
Look, maybe the British shouldn't be there, but how do they just step out?
Just by getting on the nearest boat.
And then what?
Hey, come on.
Just let the Protestant have a taste of what they've been dishing out.
Hey.
What's that?
Lou has just sold me on an interesting story. It's called Ireland.
I'll pack my bag.
Don't need it. It's a Metro story.
Ireland's Metro?
Rossi has been covering some burglaries of guns.
I can't prove anything yet, but I think IRA people might have been behind some of it. I may never prove it.
Unless we put it with another story, like identity card thefts. Some people are stealing driver's licenses, for example, which apparently they can use to get phony birth certificates and therefore phony passports.
Maybe that does tie up. You want me to talk to some of the theft victims?
You are. My driver's license and Social Security card was stolen by a guy I met at Maggie McKenna's party. Francie Fitzgerald. So we do have a local story about the way people in Southern California are supporting the IRA.
Now, I think we need the point of view of some prominent Irish Americans for this.
Billy, you work on that. You could start with Kerry Doherty. He's in town.
Good idea. Practically won his seat in Congress on a platform of Blarney.
I'll see if I can get a hold of him this afternoon.
There are a couple of ladies from the Irish peace movement in the area. See if you can get to them.
Okay.
What do you want me to do?
I want to concentrate on one thing, finding Francis Fitzgerald.
He's only part of this story.
I know. Well, I want to find the guy who took my driver's license.
Will continue in a moment here on A&E.
Morning, Maggie.
Hey, the top of the morning to you, as they say. What is this, a new shortcut? Are you sneaking in the back way to your office for a reason?
No, I was coming around to your place. I knew the front entrance would be closed.
Oh, Lou, I'm sorry. We don't make breakfast, even for you. For 23 years, I made breakfast every morning for the mister. May he rest in peace. And the day he died, Lou, I stopped. It's not a meal I prepare, even for myself.
I don't want any breakfast.
Well, now, you're not the sort of man to start drinking at the crack of dawn.
I'm looking for Francie Fitzgerald.
Oh, that's easy.
It is?
Oh, sure. The last time I saw him, the two of you were walking off arm in arm, making up tales about your exploits in the good old days of newspapering.
Do you know where he is now?
I know, I don't.
I want to talk to him.
Well, if Francie Fitzgerald doesn't want his whereabouts known, you best just forget it. That boy moves like a wisp of wind.
Yeah, well, I want you to put out the word. It'll get to him. Just tell him I want his story.
Oh, gee, Lou, I don't know.
You can do that for me, can't you?
Lou, I like you. You know that. These boys are playing this for real. Some of them are violent men.
Will you put out the word for me, Maggie?
Will I get my reward in heaven?
I can't promise you that. But you may get a kiss on the cheek on earth.
I'm very glad to see you doing this article, Miss Newman. When you look at the size of that tiny island and then look at what it's given the world, just the literature alone.
The article is not about the Irish accomplishment, Congressman.
No, but when you talk about Ireland, it doesn't hurt to be mindful of that contribution.
Well, the story is less about Ireland than it is about the people in the United States who are helping to send arms over there.
Why are you coming to me?
You have a number of constituents who are Irish Americans.
Sure.
In fact, outside of your political district, you're well known as a kind of Irish American leader.
Well, somewhat known.
You could use your position and your influence to make a strong condemnation of the people who send arms to Ireland, yet you have chosen not to.
I've made it clear I feel Irish politics are an internal affair of Ireland.
Are you aware that large sums of money are being raised in the United States for Irish relief, but are being used instead to purchase weapons for the IRA?
I've heard that. I'm not directly aware of it.
Do you think that you might lose support in this country if you made a strong stand against something which some people consider to be an act of Irish patriotism?
In these questions, moral leadership, not political support, is the issue.
Some of our leading Irish Americans, Ted Kennedy, Hugh Carey, Tip O'Neill, have publicly opposed the people who have raised money to send arms to Ireland.
Yes, I know that.
Would you like to take this opportunity now to make a statement condemning the gun running?
I would like to make a statement, and I would like to make my position clear. I am, first of all, an American. I'm also proud of my Irish heritage. I share that pride with others of the same heritage. I also have a deep and abiding faith in the future of Ireland and of the Irish people.
That's it?
All the way in from Chicago.
I think I've said it all.
Great Irishman, great American, great Irish American, Congressman Kerry Doherty.
Morning, love. Box 664. Here, let me sign that for you. Now, what are those black clouds doing darkening such a pretty face on such a fine morning?
The bank is moving.
Moving?
This branch, all the safe deposit box owners were notified to remove the contents of their boxes. You're the last.
Ah, well, last but not least, right, love?
Almost, you know. Everybody else was out weeks ago. They were about to break into your box.
Now, would that have been a nice thing to do, huh?
We wouldn't have had much choice, would we?
Well, here I am.
Can I have your key?
Shut the door. I think the story on the whales is a good one, especially if we can personalize it and get some art on it. You know that whale they turned loose last year, Sparky? It could return in a couple of weeks. I say we wait until then, send the animal out in the boat and get some shots of this fluke.
What are you talking about?
The whale story. Your memo said you want to see him about the whales.
That was just to get you in here.
Charlie, you don't have to make up stories to get to see me. I like you.
I didn't want Lou to know.
Oh, this is about Lou.
Yeah, it's about Lou and this Irish thing. He put the word out on the street that he wants to meet up with this gun runner that stole his driver's license.
I know.
Do you think he's getting a little carried away with this? Do you think that he's in any danger?
Yeah, I think he's probably getting a little obsessed, and I have no idea whether he's in any danger.
Well, do you think these Irish gun runners are going to give him any trouble?
I have no way of knowing. I don't happen to know any Irish gun runners. Now, as a matter of fact, just because my name is Donovan does not make me the staff expert on the Irish problem.
All right, I didn't say that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get your Irish up. I didn't mean that either.
It's all right, Charlie. I'll tell the lads not to work Lou Grant over too hard when they catch up with him.
Then what happened?
The bank got a court order to open the safe deposit box.
What'd they find?
There were a couple of small guns in there. Also, a British passport. I don't think this is the correct name, but the picture's familiar.
We hit lovely weather. So warm. This is winter for us. Well, I think my equipment's ready. Shall we start with some background?
Yes?
No.
Take it. All right. We're both from Belfast. I'm a Protestant and Fiona's Catholic.
I guess I should have brought my catcher's mask.
I know you're only making a joke, but that is what people think, isn't it? That we can't possibly get along, that it's hopeless.
What makes you think that it isn't hopeless?
Because it can't be.
Both our families have been involved in the struggles for 3 generations. We were raised to hate, and we did.
When you say hate, do you mean...
I mean, my son was killed in a night raid. He was walking home from a movie with his daddy. And what I felt was deep and cold and bitter hate.
What changed that?
Deirdre.
I was hanging up the laundry about this time last year. My little Sean was playing in the yard when some fanatics threw a petrol bomb at someone or other walking down our street. I don't know. A piece of metal came this close to my Bobby's head. So I picked up my son and I dropped him off at my sister's. And I walked across the barricade and up to the first lady I saw, and I said, I'm from the other side, and this has got to stop. That was Fiona.
And I said, you're right.
And we started telling other people.
And now we're here trying to tell people. You know, the deaths from the fighting in Ulster, in terms of percentage of the population in Ireland, would be equivalent to the United States losing 250,000. It's 250,000 men. It's 5 times the number that were killed in the Vietnam War.
You're asking for...
a ceasefire, now.
Don't you think that the Irish should solve the Irish problem? What are you doing in America?
Well, we've come to bring our message to the American people.
Do you think that the United States government or the American people could bring peace to Ireland?
Well, no, but they can stop contributing to the war.
The rifles and the bombs that maim and kill the little children in Ireland, they come from here.
At least the groceries won't get whiplash.
I've been waiting for you.
You've been waiting for me?
Like to take a little ride?
Sorry, pal, but I don't want the fish sticks to thaw.
I thought you wanted to see Francie.
It's a cool night.
Lou Grant will continue in a moment here on A&E.
There's nothing here. Why are we stopping?
Because there's nothing here.
Where's Francie?
We heard on the street you were interested in hearing the freedom fighters' side.
I have a feeling you want to tell me.
Only because the press is always distorting our point of view.
Rough, isn't it? Set off a bomb in a London theater and people tend to take a dim view of it.
We don't take actions like the bombings in England because we like it. We use force because it's the only thing the oppressor understands.
What about negotiating?
Oh, we came close in 1916. We could have had a united Ireland then. But they negotiated the country right out from under us. We ended up without 6 counties in the north. We could talk for 1,000 years. The only way we ever got anything is with fighting.
One of my reporters talked to a pair of Irish women touring the U.S. and calling for an end to the fighting.
It's all very well for a couple of little ladies to travel about asking for a ceasefire. But they don't understand. The only reason anybody pays any attention at all is because we're out there and we're a threat.
Most Irish people don't approve of your methods?
They will when we win. We couldn't do what we do without the support of the ordinary Irish worker or farmer.
Or the Americans who send you money to buy arms?
The Protestants get their guns easier than we do, but we'll take help from anyone who'll give it.
How about the PLO? Haven't they trained some of your troops?
Oppressed people have got to stick together.
You said I was going to see Francie Fitzgerald tonight.
Everybody's looking for Francie. He's been a very careless lad, and he hasn't been straight with us.
So where is he?
He's still in Los Angeles. But his usefulness to our struggle is over.
Evening, Lou.
Good evening, Francie.
I thought I might stop by for a bit.
Come in.
No, I can see the old place hasn't changed much.
I was just fixing dinner. Would you like to have something? A bowl of soup, a cup of tea, my passport?
You're a hard man not to like, Lou.
You like me so much you want to keep my driver's license and my Social Security card as mementos.
No, I feel terrible about that. Truly, I do.
I'm sure.
No, God's honest truth, Lou. I regret it deeply. No, it was a sinful thing. And that's why I came here tonight, to return your possessions to you. You know, you were a friend. I turned you into an enemy. And like my old Irish grandmother used to say, it's terrible to have 1,000 enemies, but it's worse to have 1,001.
I think it's 1,003. I met a couple of your ex-friends. You're on their hit list. And as you know, those guys like to play with guns.
Poor bloody fools. That's the trouble with this whole damn organization. That's the trouble with the whole blessed country. The one thing we're good at is shooting each other to pieces.
You don't seem exactly surprised.
It's been coming on. I wanted to resign. I wanted out. I didn't agree with the random violence. Making a big splash, making a big noise, leaving innocent people dead. Just to let the world know we're still alive. But they thought I was a coward. Or a traitor. And a few other unsavory things besides. You see, nobody resigns.
Do they suspect how you feel?
I told them they were full of muck, you know? But I decided to stay on and work for the cause anyway, like an idiot. We're a fine, mad race, Lou. But nothing in God's earth is going to change that.
What do you do now?
Well, I won't show up for the next meeting unless I have the 5th Marines as a backup. I'm going to have to take it on the run. Thanks for the dinner, Lou.
You're welcome.
I'm afraid this does change things a bit. I'm going to have to ask you for another favor. I'm a terrible guest. I know that. but I'm going to have all the cash you have in your pocket.
Hey, be careful, lads. It's only a game.
In 1977, a member of the IRA killed in a bomb blast. The group blamed the British, but inside sources said he was executed by the O'Neill wing for a breach of discipline. Last year, a lieutenant in the IRA who publicly supported negotiations with the Protestants shut down in front of his house.
So the threat against Fitzgerald is real.
In 75 and 76, the IRA was foundering. Then it was reorganized. Smaller cells, closer security, tougher discipline.
They made mutual assistance deals with the PLO and the Libyan government, none of which these guys deny, by the way.
No kidding.
So what was Fitzgerald's crime?
Getting known, letting the feds get on his tail.
The bank deposit thing, letting himself get traced to your house.
I think now we've got to talk to Fitzgerald.
He's slippery, hard to catch up with, likes to vanish in the fog.
Sounds like you'd better be able to.
Lieutenant, what's going on?
They wanted me in on this, so I thought you'd be interested.
What happened here?
A bomb had totaled that car. From what we've been able to put together, the car was recently purchased under a different name by one of the guys involved in this gun running thing. He spent the night in a room in that house.
Do you have a name on him?
Francis John Fitzgerald.
Oh.
What?
We knew they were gunning for him, and I was trying to track him down. Poor guy.
He wasn't the victim. We don't know where Fitzgerald is.
Then who?
Little kid who was chasing his ball in the street.
I just heard the news. Poor Francis Fitzgerald got blown to eternity this morning in his car. Give me a stump.
Oh, Theo, tell me that's not true.
It's not true.
I just heard it.
Francie's car was blown up, but he wasn't in it.
Oh.
Thank God.
Maybe you should tell the rest, Rossi.
Little kid on the street was killed in the blast.
Oh, it's a sorry world sometimes. This war has cost us dearly.
It isn't the world, and it isn't your war. This was a kid 6,000 miles from Ireland.
The innocent are always the ones to suffer.
Shut up, Theo. A child has been killed. That's the saddest thing I can think of.
Amen.
was the man who assassinated President Kennedy? Or was he? Tonight, on an all-new biography, explore the theory that Lee Harvey Oswald was part of a conspiracy involving the CIA and even the Mafia. Now, a trigger-happy cop has to fight a dangerous drug ring on Police Story, next on A&E.